Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for being here today. Following the Executive Council decision and Resolution 2118 adopted by the Security Council on 27 September, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons has acted promptly and diligently. Within a span of 3 days, 19 experts from the organization were deployed to Damascus, and part of this team discussed with Syrian authorities the disclosure made by the Syrian government on 19 September. The rest of the team prepared the ground for the upcoming inspections. In fact, the first inspection took place on Monday and the previous day, Sunday and Monday, 6th and 7th, and some equipment was already destroyed. And this work continues. Another inspection is being carried out today, and an additional team of 12 experts, in fact, is being deployed to Damascus. The timelines in the Executive Council decisions are tight. The initial declaration and a general plan for destruction have to be submitted by Syria by 27th October. First verification activities will have to be completed by the end of this month. And also, the production facilities as well as mixing and filling facilities will have to be rendered unusable by that time. A plan for destruction has to be adopted by the Executive Council by 15th November with a view to destroying all chemical weapons capabilities by mid-year 2014. Our experts, both on the ground and here at the headquarters, are working hard to meet those targets. The mission is a joint UN OPCW mission. We are grateful to the United Nations for their substantive support in terms of logistics and security. The UN Secretary General will soon appoint, in consultation with me, a special coordinator who will report to me and the Secretary General at the same time. This is an extraordinary situation for the OPCW. It's unprecedented, and we are at the beginning of a difficult process. There are significant challenges. Nevertheless, our organization is well equipped in terms of knowledge, expertise, and experience to fulfill this mandate. With Syria becoming 119th state party to our organization as of 14th October next week, we will be getting closer to the full universality of the convention. The motto of our organization is working together for a world free of chemical weapons. The international community has come together in a visible and significant way to show how this can be done. I thank you, and I will take a few questions before I return to the Executive Council, which is in session at the moment. As I said earlier, some discussions have been held on the disclosure made by the Syrian government on 19th of September during last week in Damascus. The Syrian government has already appointed a focal point also for interaction with our organization. They have at the moment one ambassador from Damascus, from Syrian side in town, and they have also sent 2 experts who are in fact consulting with our experts during this week, and it may continue during next week also, to put together the initial declaration as well as, in fact, preparing the destruction plan.
How would you characterize the cooperation?
The cooperation has been quite constructive, and I would say that the Syrian authorities have been cooperative.
Robert Nisbet from Sky News. You say that the timelines are tight. Are the timelines unrealistic?
I wouldn't say unrealistic. Much depends also on the situation in the ground. The safety and security of our experts is, of course, an overriding concern. And if the situation does permit, and that's why actually we have urged all parties in Syria to be cooperative and to contribute positively to this mission. I think the elimination of those weapons is in the interest of all. Therefore, if we can ensure some cooperation, by all parties, and if some temporary ceasefires, in fact, could be established in order to permit our experts to work in a permissive environment, I think the targets could be reached. Of course, there are also questions of logistics and resources, but in terms of resources, we have already received quite encouraging moves from state parties. They have started to contribute to a trust fund that we have established, and I welcome all this.
In terms of the cost that you just mentioned, not only the monetary cost, but also the resources you need, how much, well, first of all, cost you need, and how much resources do you need additionally in terms of what you have already?
The organization, in fact, has the mandate to verify the destruction activities. And the destruction itself is a responsibility of the possessor state, as it happened in the case of other possessor states in the past. Nevertheless, one has to recognize that Syria, which has already declared that it doesn't have the necessary resources to fulfill this, will have to be assisted. And we don't know yet what destruction methods will be. Once we identify them, I think we will have a better picture and we will have an estimate. And then perhaps if the organization is mandated to run this or manage this destruction phase, then we may establish a fund for that.
Anthony Deutsch for Reuters. Can you please tell us a bit about what your inspectors have already found on the ground in terms of the number of sites they have discovered, and what have they so far discovered on the ground in terms of how the chemical weapons are stored in bulk, munitions, etc.? Thank you.
The Syrian government made a disclosure on 19th, and the mandate of the inspectors, in fact, to verify whether this information which was provided is accurate or not. And they only visited one site, as I said earlier. There are over 20 sites that need to be visited in the coming days and weeks. And so far, they are making an inventory of what they found. And today also, they are visiting another site near Damascus. So it's too early, in fact, to make an assessment of, evaluation of these, of their findings.
Mike Corder from the Associated Press. Director General, are there any plans yet to visit any sites that have not been declared by Syria, that have been declared by other member states?
As you know, there is such a provision in the Executive Council decision as well as in the Security Council resolution, but we are not yet there, so there wasn't any information submitted to the organization for considering such an inspection to undeclared site.